It can take a while to apply for an Australian working visa as a skilled professional, but if you follow the correct procedures, you should have no trouble finding a sponsor in Australia based on the subclass of your visa application. Finding a sponsored job with an Australian company before submitting your visa application is one of the best ways to convince your new employer for sponsorship. In this video, we'll look at the top strategies for securing Australian-sponsored visas in 2024, the benefits as well as the requirements. Benefits of an Australian employer-sponsored visa. The following are advantages of employer-sponsored visa in Australia. 1. Guaranteed employment. Moving to Australia with a stable employment reduces uncertainty and financial risk, and an employer-sponsored visa ensures you have a job upon arrival in Australia. 2. Prospects for a long career. Secured employment for several years is provided via skilled sponsored worker visas, such as the Employer Nomination Scheme visa, Subclass 186, and the Temporary Skill Shortage visa, Subclass 482. This might be an opportunity for professional advancement and the acquisition of priceless foreign work experience. 3. Pathway to permanent residency. A pathway to permanent residency in Australia is the company Nominated Sponsorship Visa 186, which you may be able to apply for if you are on a 457 or 482 visa. 4. Support from employers. If you are granted an employer-sponsored visa, it indicates that your employer is in favor of your relocation to Australia. This support can offer both practical aid, like assistance with housing and moving expenses, and emotional comfort. How to get an employer-sponsored visa. The following are simple steps to get an employer-sponsored visa in Australia in 2024. 1. Examine Australia skilled occupation lists closely. For those who want to move to Australia to live and work but need to find a job before applying for an employer-sponsored visa, the skilled occupation list can give you an advantage. Examine the list to see where your skills are most required, and then concentrate on jobs on the SOL and organizations that need your experience. 2. Establish applications prioritized for faster processing. Make sure your application falls into one of the priority categories because this will determine how soon it is processed. Applications for skilled migration are subject to priority processing arrangements, which also dictate the sequence in which the Department of Home Affairs evaluates them. Regardless of when they are submitted, applications with a higher priority will be handled before those with a lower priority. On the official immigration website of Australia, you may review the SOL and priority categories. 3. Look for employers who have previously received sponsorship approval. A list of authorized and accredited sponsors is available, and sponsors with a proven track record are granted expedited processing times as accredited sponsors. A labor agreement employer can also be located by looking through the employers listed on the Department of Home Affairs website. To find companies that fit your occupation, you might start by looking at the listings of labor agreements or recognized sponsors, for instance, eateries or huge hotels catering to chefs. 4. Take into account regional areas and smaller cities. Think about relocating to areas with higher shortages and maybe better chances of finding a sponsor for your line of work. Try to consider positions in or connected to the sector you are targeting, but perhaps at a lesser level than your ideal position. Consider taking a job as an architectural draftsperson if you wish to become an architect, for instance, which may be your chance to begin employment in your field in Australia. Australia employer-sponsored visa requirements. The following requirements apply to both potential migrant workers and employers. Most of the time, your employer ought to be an authorized sponsor, as being an approved sponsor is mandatory for several types of visas, including the Temporary Skill Shortage visa, Subclass 482, and the Employer Nomination Scheme, visa Subclass 186. Labor market testing is an additional prerequisite. That will be all in this video. Please share your opinions with us in the comments area. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable the notification bell to receive updates on job and immigration news. Thanks for watching. Good luck!